Hello, Easy Nation. The Easy K Show is back. Woo! One night only, I guess. So yeah, I'm Darth Easy.
And I'm Rainy Cage.
And 2020, stupid year. Just one of the worst years ever, from movie-wise to disaster-wise. Just it felt like one of those disaster movies that he loves. It was that crappy of a year. So, yeah, but we're back doing our top 10. Now, we didn't see every movie that came out this year. There's some movies I wanted to see but was able to see. He saw some movies that he didn't see and should have seen as well. So,
as usual.
As always, our opinion. And that's where I'll leave it there. So, let's start with honorable mentions. You want to start first?
Sure. My first honorable mention is Unhinged. This is a Russell Crowe movie where did you see this one? No. Well, it's pretty dang good. It's definitely cheesy, but it's a good thriller. He's in a rough time in his life, and he's splitting up with his woman, and he happens on this girl, and they have a little road rage incident, and then he just kind of flips a switch and goes into kind of like serial killer mode and just stalks her around town, and it's pretty cool how they do it, and you're kind of on the edge of your seat the whole time. But Russell Crowe is badass in this movie. He's awesome. He's like completely transforms for the film, but I liked it a lot. My second honorable mention is Run. This is the second film by the Searching director. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. Anish something, and it's different, a lot different than Searching. I don't think it's like as styled as cool or has got like kind of a cool story as Searching did. But basically, you have this mom who she homeschools this girl, and Sarah Paulson is the mom.
Her name is Sarah Paulson.
Yes.
Her name is Sarah Paulson.
Yes. And she's a little overprotective, I'll put it that way, and the child starts to figure out some dark secrets, and I'll just leave it at that. It was pretty good. It just wasn't as good as Searching for me, but I enjoyed it. And then this slim year of this would never have made my honorable mentions had it been a normal year. And then my last one is Invisible Man. This one was way back in like March, right before the pandemic hit. February, because I remember going to see this in theaters. This was one of the last movies I went and saw in theaters. What's this chick's name, the blonde girl? Anyway, she's dating this rich dude. He has an invisible suit technology, and he stalks her after she runs away. He's a little controlling, He's a lot controlling, and he fakes his own death, basically. But it's pretty cool. Another thriller. I got a lot of thrillers on my list this year, but it was very cool. It was kind of... There was sometimes when it was freaking awesome. There's one scene in particular where there's this hallway and he's taking out all these cops and stuff. But sometimes I was kind of like, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I enjoyed it enough, and I'm sure we're going to get a sequel out of it. But that's my honorable mentions.
Okay, didn't see Unhinged or Run. Was wanting to see Run. Unhinged, I was just like,
pretty good.
Didn't really care to see. I just saw the scores weren't great, and I was just like, I'll just maybe watch it one day. All right, my honorable mentions. I have Bill and Ted Face the Music. I found this movie fun. It was a fun movie. And for 2020, it was cool to see Keanu Reeves come back to the movie that made him into the star he was eventually with the original Bill and Ted's. I really enjoyed the movie. The time travel stuff was cool. And I also really enjoyed the two girls that played the daughters of Bill and Ted. One girl, Samantha Weaving from Ready or Not last year, and the other girl, I can't remember what she was in, but they were both really good. So I really enjoyed Bill and Ted Face the Music. My second honorable mention is Tenet. I gotta throw in a Christopher Nolan movie. I did enjoy Tenet. Is it my favorite Christopher Nolan movie? No. Is it one of Christopher Nolan's weakest movies? Probably. But I do feel the movie is shot incredibly well. I thought the action shots were awesome. I thought the acting from John David Washington, just, I mean, you could tell he's Denzel's son. And I thought Robert Pattinson was amazing in the movie as well. Kenneth Branagh was a little cartoony at times. But other than that, I enjoyed the movie. And I'll probably buy it on Blu-ray one day and add it to my Nolan collection. Because I did enjoy that film. My third and final honorable mention is Happiest Season. This was a surprise. I'm not the biggest Christmas movie guy. I have my Christmas movie staples, like It's a Wonderful Life, Elf, all them movies. But I was just like, I don't know if I like this, but I was like, you know what? This was a sweet little happy film, Christmas movie. I thought Kristen Stewart was good. I thought McKenna Davis was good, and then all the other supporting cast, like the dad from like Legends of Tomorrow and Titanic, I thought he was good in the movie as well, and also Audrey Hepburn was funny in the movie. So overall, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. So yeah, that's my honorable mentions.
Well, I've never seen a Bill and Ted, so maybe I need to. How does this compare to the other ones?
I've never seen them.
Oh, okay. That might be a little confusing, but maybe not.
They kind of do a little quick little. They kind of give a little quick little intro in the beginning of the movie. It kind of catches you up. So
can't believe you didn't watch the old ones.
Yeah, it's me.
And I hated Tenet, so catch that on my top 10 worst. Happiest Season, I'll talk about it in a minute. So my number 10 is The King of Staten Island, and this is a Judd Apatow film, directed by Judd Apatow, and it stars Pete Davidson. And this is kind of a story about his real life. His dad in real life died in 9/11. In this movie, his dad is a firefighter who dies, and it's about him meeting up with, he's kind of struggling with life. He's kind of just living at home at mom, being lazy, and he goes to meet his dad's buddies at the fire station, and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life, and finds out all these different things that he didn't know about his dad. And it's a pretty good story. I mean, it's funny. It's dark at times, but it's a normal Judd Apatow film. I mean, it's reminded me a lot of the one that he did with the girl comedian that everybody hates. But King of Staten Island, I enjoyed a lot, and it's my number 10. My number 9 is The Croods New Age. I was super excited about this one because I loved the first Croods. It's got a freaking stellar voice casting. You got Nick Cage, Emma Stone, Ryan Reynolds. It's just packed full, and it's kind of they do a cool way of, you remember those commercials, the Geico commercials or the Progressive Caveman commercials, where they kind of take a modern twist on cave people. Well, on this one, it's kind of the upset. We're in caveman period times, but it's about how like modern things are created in the caveman times. What I loved about the first one was an excellent father-daughter movie, and in this one, it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of about two families trying to get along. It's got some dating stuff in there. It's got I don't know. It's kind of doesn't have a set story, kind of like how the first one does, but it's it's animated. It's got a couple heartfelt moments, and it's funny as all get out. I just laughed the whole time. Just like their son, instead of watching TV, he watches a window, and it's hilarious. But it's quite good. I highly recommend it. It's one of the up there DreamWorks films, but I didn't like it as much as the first one. My number 8 is The Way Back. This is the Ben Affleck and I think Gavin O'Connor directed this movie. Mm-hmm. And it almost feels like it's based on his real life in some parts, because he's an alcoholic. He was a basketball star at this high school. He comes back to coach. And it's not really very much about the basketball. I mean, there's basketball in the background, but it's really about Ben Affleck's character, how he's dealing with things in his life, and it kind of unravels things that happened as you're watching it. And damn, Ben Affleck acts the hell out of it. He's really, really good in it. And, if we were going to do, which I still don't know if we are, if we were going to do an Oscar type thing, he would be up there for me for Best Actor, because we just don't have a lot to pick from, really. But But yeah, The Way Back I thought was really, really good. My number 7 is Over the Moon. This was a bunch of ex-Pixar people who left after the whole sex scandal thing that was going on. And they started their own company. I forget what it's called, but this is their it's actually their first original movie by themselves, but kind of their third movie that they worked on. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's really heartfelt. It's about this girl who loses her mom, and her dad's finding new love, and she's kind of struggling with it. And so she has this idea. There's this kind of ancient thing about this girl that lives on the moon that can grant wishes. And so she's like, well, I'm going to build a rocket ship and I'm going to go to the moon. And it's kind of takes off from there. But it's a musical. There's some songs in it, but it's not like Disney musical where it's tons of songs. There's like 4 or 5 songs in it. But it's really, really beautiful. The animation is spectacular, and for their first animated film, I was really impressed, and I liked it a lot. I highly recommend it. And my number 6 is Greenland. This is the Gerard Butler disaster movie, and like you were thinking, I'm sure, I thought going into this, this is going to be like The Day After Tomorrow or Armageddon, a cheesy end of the world movie that I like. I wasn't planning on going in and just having a good time, but it's not that whatsoever. You don't follow the soldiers or the plans to stop the disaster from happening. You follow one family led by Gerard Butler. He's just an engineer. He's not doing anything crazy. He's not he's not Superman during the apocalypse. It's just them trying to survive. They're trying to get from point A to point B, and it's just crazy. It felt very realistic of what would happen if it was the end of the world. It was oddly timely with what was going on in 2020, because some of the things that people were doing, I was like, oh yeah, that's already happened this year. But it's actually surprisingly really, really good. And Gerard Butler's actually really kind of fantastic in it. I was kind of blown away. So I can confirm it's not just a cheesy disaster movie.
I don't trust you.
I know you don't trust me. But that's my 10 through 6.
Alright, I've seen one movie on here that's 10 through 6. Alright, I don't have anything to say because I've never seen any of those movies other than The Way Back, and I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Alright, at number 10, Hell is Frozen Over. And that is Bad Boys for Life.
It's my happiest moment ever.
I mean, I hate Bad Boys. Let's be honest with myself. I hate it. But a positive for me, which would probably be a negative for him, was they took Michael Bay away from the movie and actually made the movie a lot better because it wasn't so glorifying explosions and all this. But there was actually a cool little story about one guy just wants to retire, the other guy's still trying to find his glory. The action scenes were shot pretty well. I had a fun time watching this movie. The story was a little simple, and I really enjoyed Bad Boys for Life. I thought it was one of the better action films. Kind of like set like Fast and Furious, but a lot simpler and actually made a little more sense than the other films. So yeah, I think Bad Boys for Life was good, and as long as Michael Bay stays away from this franchise going forward, I'll totally watch another Bad Boys.
He was in the movie. They had that whole scene that was glorifying him.
Dude, I watched this movie back in March. And that feels like a year ago.
I'm happy that you have this on your list.
So
I'll leave it at that.
All right, at number 9, I'm going with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So this is 1920s, set in the 1920s around a band with Viola Davis, and you got Chadwick Boseman, his last film that he ever recorded, Wakanda Forever. And I will say, I thought Chadwick Boseman was the best I've ever seen him in his entire career. He's just very good. It's about this blues band. They're at a recording session, and it's all like taking place in like kind of like real time. And you have Viola Davis, who's this character called Ma. She's kind of a diva queen, but she kind of pushes these white people around. And there's a lot of stuff about racism, especially in the 20s. And it was a very good movie. And the ending, I did not see coming. It's based off a play similar to how Fences was a few years ago, and I thought I enjoyed the movie. It's a quick, easy hour and a half movie. I highly recommend checking that one out.
Did you say Denzel Washington directed it?
He produced it. All right, at number 8, I'm going with On the Rocks. On the Rocks, directed by Sofia Coppola, and stars Bill Murray. And when I watched the movie, I forgot how much I love Bill Murray. He was just, does he act like a character in the movie? No, he completely acts like a Bill Murray would, like he has in other movies. But I thought his comedy was great. The whole story of it is his daughter thinks her husband is cheating on him, who's played by Marlon Wayans, who I thought was actually pretty good and wasn't all like Marlon Wayans usually is. But then it's just this father-daughter relationship, how they always had this kind of rocky relationship. And I just found the movie just a very enjoyable Bill Murray comedy. It was simple. I liked it. At number 7, I'm going with The Invisible Man. This is like, I saw 2 movies in theaters this year, and this is the only.
Gosh.
And this is the only movie on my top 10 that was one movie I saw in theaters. And I really did enjoy The Invisible Man. I really liked the girl. She was in Mad Men. She's been in some other stuff as well. And she was also in that movie last year, the Jordan Peele movie. But yeah, she was good in that movie, and yeah, I found this really good. I liked I thought it was suspenseful. The ending was very good, and I don't know if I need to see another sequel to this movie. I'm completely fine with one movie. We might see a sequel in 2025 by Buddy and everything, and this was probably one of the last movies to make Buddy in the theaters. So yeah, I enjoyed Invisible Man. At number 6, I'm going with Enola Holmes. Thought this movie was awesome, and I had no idea what it was about. Saw a little teaser of it on Netflix. I was like, what the hell is Enola Holmes? But you have what's her face from Stranger Things. She plays Sherlock Holmes' third sibling, Enola Holmes, and she's kind of she's starting to kind of do this like little detective thing. Her mother goes missing, who's played by Helen Bonham Carter, but it was cool to see Henry Cavill, who I've always been a big fan of. Henry Cavill play Sherlock. I thought he was great as Sherlock, and it was very different from any Sherlock Holmes I've seen. I would totally love to see him come back and play. I would love to see a sequel to this movie. I thought this movie was fun. I like Sherlock Holmes, but I even think he would like this movie because it's not your typical Sherlock Holmes, because it's not really Sherlock Holmes. It's Enola Holmes. And that's my 10 through 6.
Well, same thing. I did see a lot of these movies that you saw. But I got no gripes. I'm just happy you had Bad Boys on there. And I want to watch Enola Holmes and On the Rocks. So those are 2 I need to catch. All right. My number 5 is Happiest Season, which you had as an honorable mention. I was the same way. This was on our thing, on our Plex for a while, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to watch this. And people kept talking about it, how good it was. And so I watched it, and it was one of the better Christmas movies I've seen in a while, to be honest with you. I was kind of blown away. Everybody in it is really good. Kristen Stewart, surprisingly, really good in the movie. I like the guy from Schitt's Creek. I've never seen him in anything else, but he's like their gay friend or whatever, and he comes home and
see with the goldfish.
Oh my god, I was just dying laughing the whole time he was on screen. And then the family stuff. It was so, I don't know, real. Like all the way the family was acting. I will say it kind of ties it up at the end in a nice, neat little bow. Like that they did totally. Like the families had all this hidden hate the whole movie, and then all of a sudden it's all resolved after 1 year. But other than that, I thought it was hilarious and had a lot of heart, and it was really good. My number 4 is Birds of Prey. I figured this would be the one that you would not like that's on my list, because it gets a lot of hate, but to be honest, I just rewatched it because I wanted to make sure I wasn't...
No, wait, you gotta say the whole title.
Oh god, I don't even... Birds of Prey and the Immaculate... I don't even know. I don't even remember. It's a bunch of nonsense. But I love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I liked her in Suicide Squad. She was one of the best parts of Suicide Squad, her and Will Smith. And this is what we saw 2 DC movies this year. Is by far the better DC film, and it feels DC. Like it feels like it exists in this. In a Batman type universe, whereas Wonder Woman is just a whole nother thing I won't even get into. But I enjoyed it. I like its weird take. I like the action scenes. I thought they were badass. Is there a little like social justice nonsense about all men are evil? Yes, but I thought it was pretty good. I loved even the scene about her loving a sandwich, an egg sandwich for breakfast, made me hungry, and I was like, I like it. I like pretty much everything about this movie. It's stylized real cool. Harley Quinn is Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. I think she does the character great.
I just didn't like the movie because it's what you just said, and it's usually I'm the one who's on the fan, and it's because every guy, it doesn't matter what small part, they're the biggest piece of crap in the world.
Yes, every guy in her life is god awful, and it is ridiculous.
So
there's no good guys in the world of Birds of Prey.
So that's the worst part about the movie, and I thought the action was fine.
What'd you think about Ewan McGregor as the villain?
I like that Ewan McGregor in the movie. I thought he was cool with Black Mask.
But that's my number 4. My number 3 is The Gentleman. I had to look this up multiple times because it's kind of all over the place. Like, I wasn't even 100% sure if this was a 2020 movie, but Rotten Tomatoes has it as a top.
No, it came out in January.
Yeah, so it did. It premiered in some kind of festival or something in Germany one day before 2020 or something, because Letterboxd and stuff has it as a 2019 movie. That's what was throwing me off. But this is a Guy Ritchie film. Guy Ritchie being Guy Ritchie. It's got a star-studded cast. It's really freaking funny. It's a gangster movie. I loved freaking All Right. I loved Matthew McConaughey in the film. He's like this retiring gangster, and freaking what's his name? Freaking Harry Potter. And what's his stupid name? Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's great in the movie.
He wasn't in Harry Potter. He's a Fantastic Beast.
Yes, Fantastic Beast. Sorry, I don't know why that comes to my head when I think Colin Farrell, but I loved everybody in it. But it's vulgar, funny. It's definitely very Guy Ritchie, though just the way it's directed. Everybody's fast talking. They're telling stories, and you're cutting around through time. But I enjoyed it a lot, and I just had a good time with it. I've only watched it the one time. I need to watch it again, but it did stick with me. It's one of the better films of the year.
Me, I didn't care for it.
Wow.
I just didn't do anything for me. It's one I never want to watch again.
Oh.
So
I bought it. I haven't watched it again yet, though.
Imagine that.
That was my number 3. My number 2, Bad Boys for Life. I'm glad you had it on your list. Never in a million years would I thought.
Only 2020.
He's going to have a Bad Boys movie in his top 10. Had this been a normal year, this probably would have been further down on my list, but I have to feel like my number 1 and 2 would have probably made my top 10. Because these were, to me, the only like close to good, perfect movies of the year. Bad Boys for Life, I was super anticipated. I like Michael Bay. I like Bad Boys 1 and 2. Matter of fact, Bad Boys is like, it's up there on my. But this is not. You're right. It is. They got rid of Michael Bay. He is in the movie as a cameo, and they have this scene where he kind of this director's paying homage to him. You have a really cool story. Will Smith has this secret past, and Martin Lawrence just wants to retire, and they got to get back together, and it's got some really cool twists and turns, some deaths you don't see coming, and then it does set itself up for more movies. And one thing they do at the end I don't really like very much, but I had a good time. I laughed a lot. It's got some really cool action, and I think it was the best way to do a third Bad Boys, especially almost 15 years since the last one. And I can't argue with freaking Michael Bay doing Transformers running into the ground. The very next one comes out without him. Amazing. Bad Boys, I don't feel like he ran it into the ground. I was really upset that he wasn't doing it, but I'm surprised with how well this turned out without him. So I say keep going without him. Let Michael Bay do his own thing. But yeah, I love the movie. And that's my 5 through 2.
Okay, I've seen all 5 through 2, and don't agree with 2 of them. So the usual. All right, so my number 5 is The Return of David Fincher, and that is Mank. So Mank is about, it was a movie written by David Fincher's father. So it was a passion project for David Fincher, but it's about the guy who wrote Citizen Kane along with Orson Welles. But it stars Gary Oldman. I thought Gary Oldman was just incredible. I love the black and white. And I even like how the movie is shot, where you'll kind of see like a cigarette burn, kind of like how the old 1930s and 40s film reels would be. I thought Gary Oldman was great. Charles Dance was good in the movie as well. The girls were good. Amanda Seyfried, she was good. She was good in this movie. Wow. And the guy who plays Orson Welles, I thought he captured Orson Welles very good. He's not in the movie a lot, but I like how the story is. Like Mank, he was not supposed to have any credit for Citizen Kane, but then he realizes this is the greatest thing I ever wrote. And so he fought with Orson Welles and won the Oscar for Citizen Kane, which Citizen Kane is considered by most film historians as the greatest film ever made. And a lot of Citizen Kane, even if you don't like it, a lot of films would not have been made if it wasn't due to Citizen Kane. It inspired a whole generation of film people. So yeah, I love this. I thought this movie was great. I thought Gary Oldman was terrific in this film. And it's not one of my favorite David Fincher movies, but in the year of 2020, when we don't have a lot of cool artsy films, Mank really filled that void for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. At number 4, I'm going with The Way Back. I mean, Gavin O'Connor knows how to make sports movies. From Miracle to Warrior to now The Way Back. I thought the basketball in this movie was very cool. But then the whole story of Ben Affleck as he's an alcoholic, you kind of understand how he has gotten to this point in his life. I thought the movie did a very good job of telling that story. I thought The Way Back was just a great basketball movie, and I believe this came out right when sports was canceled, so I kind of feel that little void for like a moment where I didn't have sports, along with like The Last Dance. I love this movie. I thought it was totally worthy on this list. At number 3 is a movie I just watched last night, and I have to thank you to Chris Stuckman for his top 10, because if I hadn't watched it, I would not have known about this movie, and that is The Bass of Night. So this is set during 1950s. You have a guy, he's a radio host in this small town in New Mexico. You have this girl, she's a switchboard operator. They hear this kind of weird noise, and they're trying to figure out what it is, and basically, it's about them searching for a UFO in town. It takes place during one night, and the way this movie is just shot, and like how it makes it feel like it's kind of like a Twilight Zone episode, and it kind of feels like early Spielberg, kind of like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I thought that people in the movie was great, and I liked how it felt very 1950s to me, and I just found this movie incredibly enjoyable to watch. It was so easy. It was an easy watch, and I enjoyed from beginning to end. I was on the edge of my seat. And yeah, I thought The Bass of Night was a totally surprise movie for 2020. My number 2 is So. Coming from someone who hated the trailers and everything about this movie blew me away. I think it's Pixar's best movie since Inside Out, because Pixar for me has not made a great animated film since Inside Out, or even probably before that was probably Toy Story 3 was probably the last really great Pixar film. I thought So was incredible. I thought the link to jazz from I love movies about jazz from La La Land and Whiplash, but then you go into the story about what makes a life, and that ending whenever he sees his whole life flash, and a tear was rolling down my face, and that little connection with 22, and that's what I love about this. The best Pixar films are the Pixar films made for adults. Kids can enjoy this film, but I think it's more geared towards adults than it is kids, and that's why I think So is definitely worthy on this top 10. So yeah, I love So.
Speaking of Soul,
you want to talk about my sponsor too?
Yeah, I keep forgetting that Mank is David Fincher, and I can't remember. Did I like the Orson Welles movie, The Citizen Kane?
You have to check out your YouTube review of the artist formerly known as Rady Cage.
Maybe I need to watch that. Vastamite sounded interesting. Never heard of it, but I haven't watched Stugman's Top 10 yet, so maybe I need to. But yeah, The Way Back I liked, and Soul is my number one. As somebody who does not like Inside Out, I still think this is one of the better Pixar movies, and I thought that's where we were going at first. I was like, when we first go into the dream world or the soul world or the in-between, whatever you want to call it, I was like, is this going to be Inside Out? Like, I was like, felt like the same thing. But then they take it in a different way, and I was kind of blown away where they go with it. And yes, this is the most adult film I think Pixar's ever done. Like, I guess kids could watch it. To me, I don't know how much entertainment.
There's enough funny moments in this film, like with the pirate ship and all that kind of stuff.
The cat.
Yeah.
I think there's enough in there, but I mean, I was emotional at the end. I will say, I don't want to go into spoilers because some people may not have seen it yet, but I feel like the very, very end is a little safe. Like, when he does something, I think he should have gone to the light. I don't think he should have got the second chance.
Yeah, but he wasn't dead.
I know.
He wasn't technically dead.
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
He's supposed to be.
Well, it's fine.
Anyways, I loved it. It's got a ton of heart. I did not see what started happening, and it was funny. I will admit there was all the cat stuff and everything that happens about midway on. I was dying laughing.
The joke about the New York Knicks. I've been messing with the sports thing forever. I like that.
I will say, maybe this was just the copy I watched, but I wasn't like blown away by the animation, and maybe it was because we were watching it on Plex, not Disney Plus. Sorry, Disney Plus.
I watched it on Disney Plus.
Oh,
I got to back Disney.
I don't know, but it didn't blow me away like past Pixar films have, like Coco, like just the colors and everything, and it was beautiful. And this one, I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah,
like,
but I don't
visually, I didn't think it was as stunning as other.
I don't need great colors and graphics to make a great movie.
To me, my other animated films looked better than Soul, but Soul had the best story. And it's one of the better Pixar films. It'd be in my. I actually went out and did a top. Ranked all my Pixar films after I watched this movie, and it made my top 10. So, yeah, Soul is amazing.
Okay,
What's your number one?
My number one is The Trial of the Chicago 7. This is Aaron Sorkin returned to direct after he directed one of your favorite movies a few years ago, Molly's Game.
I didn't know this.
And
Can you tell me about this movie? This is what happens when we don't talk. So,
well, wait, COVID in 2020. I tried. So you got Eddie Redmayne, you got Mark Rylance, you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, you got Sacha Baron Cohen is in this film, and there's some other people in this movie as well. But the whole story of it is about the riot that happened in 1968 in Chicago. But it's a courtroom drama movie at its finest. You have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who is part of the he's trying to prosecute these 7 members of the Chicago 7. You have Mark Rylance, who plays the defense attorney, and it's just a good courtroom drama movie. It's also got a surprise appearance from Michael Keaton in the movie, and like he used to be the old attorney general, and Nixon's wanting to prosecute these 7, even though they had found that this Chicago 7 really had nothing to do. It was due to police brutality. And the year 2020, when we had a lot of social things about the police, I thought Trial of Chicago 7, it's kind of surprising how quickly this movie came and how relevant it is to today. And I just found the performances great, and I loved the movie. I thought it was incredible. I mean, would it make my number one movie on a normal 2020 list? Probably not. Dune would have probably been my number one movie of the year. But
what would have?
Dune.
Oh, Dune, yeah.
So yeah. So guys, yeah, that's our list. So, did I interest you to watch this movie now?
Yeah, I want to see it. I didn't know that Aaron Sorkin directed. I love Molly's Game, and it sounds like it had an awesome cast. So, yeah. Now I got to go back and watch that, and there's several on your list, and you should do the same on mine, sir. There were several on there. I think you would really like Over the Moon and Greenland. You probably like King of Staten Island, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, maybe. I thought about watching that, but I was just like, yeah. Alright, guys, that ends this weird year of 2020. I hope everyone had a weird year. Because I'm not going to say good year because it was not a good year. Hopefully 2021 would kind of return back to normal. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we'll see normal until probably 2022, to be perfectly honest. So, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Biden can change all that.
Oh, yeah. Biden, we're saved.
Biden 2020. All right, guys. You can not subscribe to his YouTube channel because he doesn't do anything.
Dormant.
He doesn't do anything anymore. But you can continue subscribing to the Darth Easy YouTube channel and also subscribe to the Darth Easy Show YouTube channel where I post all my podcasts, and also subscribe here where I'll have something coming out in the months to come. And yeah. So guys, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button, subscribe, see more, tell your friends about Easy Nation.
Peace out.
All too easy.